Okay, so picture this. You sit down, you've got that big important task right in front of you. Maybe it's a report, maybe it's studying. You're feeling motivated, right, ready to focus.
Uh-huh.
And then, I don't know, like seconds later, your mind just wanders off.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Before you know it, you're scrolling your phone or checking email again or just kind of staring out the window. Distraction wins. Again.
And you feel that frustration creep in. Maybe even start thinking, is there something wrong with me? Do I have, like, an attention problem?
Exactly. But what's really interesting and what jumped out from the research you shared is this idea that often it's not actually a personal failing.
Right. It's what they call a compromised work environment.
A compromised work environment. I like that framing.
Think about it. Big companies spend, well, millions designing stores or websites to subtly nudge us,
Right.
influence how we feel, what we choose.
Sure.
Well, our own spaces, our desks, our homes, they do the exact same thing, just maybe without us realizing it quite so much.
That's a really powerful thought. So the good news then is that getting better concentration isn't necessarily about finding some kind of superhuman willpower.
Not at all. It's more about being smart, setting up these guardrails, as you put it, little environmental tweaks that make focusing, well, easier, almost effortless sometimes.
Like unlocking a focus superpower. So
Yeah.
we don't need to just try harder. We need to engineer our surroundings so those mindless distractions, the autopilot phone checks are just harder to do.
Precisely. So in this deep dive, we're going to dig into some really practical, research-backed ways to do that. Looking at your physical space, your digital life, even your daily routines.
Okay.
We'll unpack how to set things up for better attention, touch on some of the science behind that peak focus, that flow state, and see how really small intentional habits can actually lead to pretty big improvements.
Improvements not just in productivity, but well-being too, right?
Absolutely. Concentration, productivity, feeling less scattered. That's all linked. We'll even look at taking a break from all the digital noise, how that can literally sharpen your mind.
Okay, let's get into it. We often throw around words like focus and concentration. Are they actually different? Does it matter?
It's a good place to start, yeah. Think of focus as like your mental spotlight, directing your attention to one specific thing.
Like zooming in.
Exactly. Zooming in on one word, maybe, while filtering out everything else around it. Concentration, though, that's about sustaining that spotlight. How deeply, how consistently you can keep it there over time.
Got it. Spotlight versus endurance.
And the really good news is, both are skills. You can train them. They're not fixed.
Which is vital in today's world, isn't it? With the constant pings, the notifications, the endless information, that spotlight is getting pulled everywhere.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Our brains aren't really built for that constant barrage. And it's important to say, look, everyone gets distracted sometimes. Your mind wanders. That's just human.
Sure, a random thought pops in.
Right. What we're really talking about here, based on the research, is distinguishing between those fleeting moments and more persistent challenges, when you just can't seem to hold your attention no matter how hard you try.
So what's realistic then? How long should we be able to concentrate? Are we setting ourselves up for failure, thinking we can focus for hours straight?
That's a great question. We often beat ourselves up about it, don't we? But the research suggests our brains are actually wired for shorter bursts,
Oh, really?
Yeah. For adults, maybe up to 60 minutes of really deep, sustained concentration is often the peak. For kids, it's much less, maybe around 20 minutes.
60 minutes max. That feels manageable.
Right. The key insight isn't forcing marathon-focused sessions. It's designing your work around these natural cycles, making those focus bursts really count.
Okay, that reframes things. And when our attention does break, it's usually not just one single culprit, is it? It's more like a whole mix of things.
Totally. The sources kind of group them nicely.
Yeah.
You've got the obvious environmental stuff, noise outside, a stressful vibe in the room, being too hot or too cold, even bad air quality.
Things outside of us.
Then there are the personal or psychological things. Burnout is a big one. Anxiety, worrying about stuff, maybe deeper things like depression or grief. All that eats up your mental energy.
And our lifestyle choices play a huge part too, don't they? Like diet, sleep.
Oh, absolutely. An unbalanced diet, not drinking enough water, being tired, skipping meals, that directly impacts how well your brain functions.
Makes sense.
And finally, there can be cognitive factors too.
Yeah.
Actual memory issues, or just having a mind that feels like it's constantly jumping from one thought to the next.
Yeah.
An overactive mind.
So understanding what's pulling your focus away is really step one to figuring out how to deal with it.
Exactly. Which brings us nicely to engineering your environment. Like you said, it's less about mentally trying harder and more about proactively setting things up so distractions don't even get a foothold.
Setting up those guardrails. So where do we begin? The material mentioned a 3 environments idea, which I thought was really practical.
Yeah, there's a helpful way to break it down. First up, your wider physical space.
Okay.
If you can, try to have a dedicated spot just for deep work, different from where you do admin or chill out. Even if it's just using the kitchen table for focus stuff because your desk is a mess, that physical shift cues your brain.
Signals it's focus time now.
Precisely. And here's a slightly weird one. Try facing a wall.
A wall, not a window. That sounds boring.
Huh. Yeah, it does. But think about it. A window has constant movement, changing light, subtle distractions. A blank wall, much less visual competition for your attention. It's boring on purpose.
Huh. Okay, I can see the logic. Minimizing inputs.
And simple comfort things. Adjust the temperature, put on a sweater before you start. Don't let being slightly too cold become that nagging little distraction 10 minutes in.
Get comfortable first. Makes sense. What about music? Lots of people work with music.
Good question. If you use music, have your headphones ready and your playlist picked out before you start the work session. Avoids fiddling around.
And what kind of music?
Instrumental is generally better. Lyrics, even familiar ones, engage the language parts of your brain. Steals a bit of focus. Something familiar, relatively simple.
Like background ambiance.
Yeah. And the research mentioned something interesting, 40 hertz binaural beats before a session. Almost like a little brain warm-up for focus.
Interesting. A pre-focus ritual.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And finally, in that broader space, visual decluttering. Get rid of stuff that might catch your eye, even innocently.
Yeah.
Books, photos. The more complex something is visually, the more potential it has to distract.
So deal with potential distractions before they happen.
It's just easier than fighting them off constantly once you're trying to focus.
Okay, so that's the wider space. Now let's zoom into the immediate workspace. The desk, the table itself. Rule number 1.
Clear desk, clear mind. Seriously, remove everything, and I mean everything that isn't essential for the task you're about to do.
Everything.
Well, maybe keep a pen and paper, but yes, clear it off. And the absolute biggest one here, de-device yourself.
The phone.
The nemesis and the smartwatch. Turn them off, completely off, not just silent. And this is key, put them somewhere else, another room if possible, or at least in a bag in a drawer, out of sight and out of reach.
I know people resist this one. It feels extreme. But the research you mentioned is pretty stark, isn't it?
Really is. Just seeing your phone, even if it's turned off and face down on the desk, measurably reduces your cognitive capacity. Your brain is using energy to not check it.
Wow. So just its presence is a drain?
A constant low-level drain.
Yeah.
You have to remove the temptation entirely. Hide it.
Okay. What else for the desk itself? No snacks?
Yeah, probably best to avoid eating at the desk while working deeply.
Oh.
Spills, sticky fingers, getting food stuck in your teeth.
Yeah.
It sounds minor, but those little physical annoyances break your concentration.
But do have drinks ready.
Yes. Water, coffee, tea, whatever. Have it prepped and ready so you don't need to get up mid-flow just because you're thirsty.
Avoid those unscheduled breaks. And physical comfort again.
Absolutely. Check your chair height. Make sure your feet are comfortable. Discomfort is a huge focus killer. And here's a great little tip from the sources. The distraction catcher.
Oh, yeah. The pen and paper.
Exactly. Keep it handy. When some random thought pops into your head, oh, I need to email Dave, just jot it down quickly. Don't switch tasks. Don't try to hold it in your head. Just capture it and get back to work. You can even note what distracted you to learn for next time.
That's really smart. Okay, physical space, workspace. What about the third environment? The work device, usually the computer.
Right. Before you even start your focused work block, gather everything you need digitally.
Get your resources ready.
Download the files, pull up the articles, grab stuff from Slack or email. Ideally, do this the day before, or at least well before your session. Avoids that frantic searching and getting sucked into notifications just as you're trying to start.
And then?
Then, be ruthless. Shut down everything else, all the apps, all the browser tabs that aren't strictly necessary for this task.
Everything, even if I might need it.
If in doubt, close it. You can always reopen it later if you genuinely need it.
Yeah.
Get in the habit of closing things as soon as you're done with them. And messaging apps. Fully quit them. Don't just minimize or mute. Shut them down.
Wow. Even keeping your task list on paper, not in an app, can help.
Yeah, anything to reduce the number of open digital doors that might pull your attention away.
Okay, I get it. This sounds like a lot of prep work up front. Someone listening might think, how does this help me focus in a noisy office or a busy cafe?
That's a fair point.
Right.
But the idea is you practice this in a controlled setting first.
Mm-hmm.
You build the muscle, learn what deep focus feels like with minimal friction.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've got that foundation, you can gradually handle more distractions. You become more resilient, anti-fragile, as the material puts it, able to focus almost anywhere.
Building the skill in ideal conditions first.
Exactly. And when you nail that environmental setup, you put yourself in the best position to maybe tap into that state Mahali called flow.
Ah, flow, being in the zone, that feeling where you're just completely absorbed.
Totally immersed, energized focus. Time just kind of disappears.
Mhm.
It's that state where action and awareness just merge.
It feels amazing when it happens. And the research suggests it's not just about productivity, it can be a way to cope with stress, too.
Definitely. By getting fully absorbed in something challenging but achievable, you push out worries and anxieties. It's intrinsically rewarding.
So how does it work? Why do we lose track of time and everything else?
It's fascinating. Our brains have limited processing power, right? Maybe around 110 bits of information per second. In flow, basically all of that bandwidth is dedicated to the task.
Wow.
There's literally no mental room left for distractions, self-consciousness, worrying about time, even noticing you're hungry or tired.
Total immersion. So what are the key ingredients to get there?
Well, the state itself involves that intense focus, the merging of action and awareness, feeling in control, time warping, and finding the activity rewarding for its own sake. But to get there, you generally need 3 conditions. 1, clear goals. You need to know exactly what you're trying to achieve. 2, clear and immediate feedback. You need to know how you're doing as you go along.
Makes sense. And the third?
This is crucial. A good balance between the challenge of the task and your own perceived skill level.
Not too easy, not too hard.
Exactly. Too easy, you get bored. Too hard, you get anxious and overwhelmed. Flow lives in that sweet spot where the challenge pushes you, but you feel confident you can meet it.
The Goldilocks zone for tasks.
Pretty much. And some people, the research calls them having an autotelic personality, seem naturally drawn to seeking out these flow-inducing challenges. They're curious, persistent, motivated by the activity itself.
They actively chase that feeling.
Yeah. But beyond these specific techniques and states, the real bedrock of sustained focus comes back to, well, basic brain and body health, holistic habits.
But fundamentals.
Right. Your physical and mental well-being are totally intertwined with your ability to concentrate.
Yeah.
You can't hack your way to focus if the foundations are crumbling.
And numero uno is probably sleep, right?
Right. Absolutely critical. A regular sleep schedule, aiming for consistency. It's when your brain and body repair and recover. Good sleep directly impacts mood and concentration the next day.
So the usual advice, wind down routine, avoid blue light from screens before bed.
Yeah, all that stuff genuinely works. Create a predictable routine, stay hydrated, maybe some light journaling or breathing exercises to calm the mind. It makes a real difference to sleep quality.
And exercise, how does that fit in?
Hugely important. Physical activity stimulates the brain, helps form new connections between neurons, boosts concentration. It releases things like dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin chemicals, vital for focus and attention.
So even a quick workout in the morning can set you up for better focus all day.
It really can. Gets the brain buzzing in the right way.
And then there's food. Fuel for the brain.
You got it. It's not just abstract health advice. What you eat directly impacts brain function and energy levels. A balanced diet, especially one that keeps blood sugar stable, think fruits, veggies, fiber, provides sustained energy.
Avoiding that mid-afternoon slump where your focus just tanks.
Exactly. That crash is often linked to blood sugar spikes and dips. Things like the Mediterranean diet whole foods, healthy fats, are often linked to better memory, clarity, and concentration.
Makes sense. Sleep, exercise, nutrition. What about mindfulness or meditation?
Super powerful tools. They fundamentally train your attention. They calm the nervous system, relax the body.
Like reps for your focus muscle.
That's a great way to put it. By practicing bringing your attention back, usually to your breath, over and over, you get better at doing that in daily life too. When distractions inevitably pop up while you're working, you're better equipped to just gently bring your focus back.
So simple practices like just paying attention to your senses, focusing on breathing, they really build that skill over time.
They do. It reduces stress, improves sleep, and demonstrably boosts attention control.
Okay, so integrating all this, the environment, the flow triggers, the body-brain health, brings us to the power of routine, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Having a structured daily routine isn't about being rigid. It's about creating stability. It reduces anxiety because you're not constantly deciding what should I do next. That saves mental energy.
An anchor, especially when things feel chaotic.
Exactly. And a routine lets you intentionally schedule those important self-care things we talked about, the walk, the meditation, connecting with friends. You build them in so they don't get squeezed out when life gets busy.
Those small acts really do add up for mood and focus.
They really do. And by cutting down on that decision fatigue, routines free up your brain power for the stuff that actually matters, enhances productivity almost automatically.
And a really practical way to build these new positive habits into a routine is something called habit stacking. I love this concept.
It's super effective because it hooks the new habit onto something you already do automatically, an existing strong habit.
Like brushing your teeth.
Right. The formula is simple. After I do my existing habit, I will do my new habit.
So after I pour my morning coffee, I will sit and meditate for 5 minutes.
Perfect. Or after I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout clothes. Or after I sit down to dinner, I will think of one thing I'm grateful for today.
It leverages the brain's existing pathways.
Exactly. It's like the brain already has a well-worn path for the first habit, and you're just adding a little extension onto it. It makes the new habit feel much less effortful to start. It uses that synaptic pruning idea, reinforcing the connections you want.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about maybe the biggest modern focus challenge, our digital lives, our phones, social media.
The elephant in the room, yeah.
There's a fascinating study you flagged about a 2-week social media digital detox. What did they find?
This was really insightful. Young adults limited their social media to just 30 minutes a day for 2 weeks. And the impact was pretty significant.
Okay.
First, they cut their usage way down, obviously almost 80%. But the knock-on effects were huge. They reported feeling less addicted to their phones and social media. And interestingly, that feeling lasted even after the detox ended.
Wow, so it had a lasting effect on their relationship with it.
Seems so. They also reported sleeping better, falling asleep faster, waking up feeling more refreshed, big improvements in life satisfaction, overall well-being, and lower stress levels.
Or your relationship.
Better supportive relationships, yeah. Because they were spending more actual face-to-face time with people instead of scrolling. That's a massive return for just limiting app usage.
Huge. What was the experience like for them? Was it really hard?
Surprisingly, many found it easier and more enjoyable than they expected. They talked about feeling relief, less pressure. The initial adjustment was tough, especially figuring out what to do in those little moments of downtime where they'd usually grab their phone.
Those in-between moments.
Right. But the 30-minute limit often felt like a sweet spot. Enough to stay connected, but not enough for mindless scrolling. The Goldilocks effect, they called it.
Did they just replace social media with other screen time?
Some did, yeah. They called it screen to screen. Playing online chess, Sudoku, reading news, deep diving on Wikipedia, watching Netflix. The urge for some kind of digital engagement was still there for many.
Interesting. So it's not just social media, it's the broader digital pull.
Often, yes. And many people binged a bit right after the detox ended, but that usually didn't last. It actually increased their self-awareness about their habits.
So the main takeaway was increased awareness and small positive changes sticking around.
Exactly. Like setting their own modified limits afterwards, or consciously creating screen-free time, like at the gym or during meals.
Did they have ideas for making detoxes work better?
Yeah, some suggested slightly longer limits, maybe 45, 60 minutes, or focusing the limits only on their most problematic apps like TikTok, or even just deleting apps temporarily. Personalizing it seems key.
It's about finding what works for you individually.
Right. So bring it back to daily practice. What are some concrete time management tools people can use?
The Pomodoro technique is a classic for a reason.
Yeah, super simple, super effective. Work focus for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, repeat that cycle a few times, then take a longer break, maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Why does that work so well?
The short bursts feel manageable. It forces you to take breaks, which prevents burnout and actually refreshes your thinking. Great if you struggle with a short attention span too.
It builds in that recovery time. What else?
Time blocking is another powerful one. Literally scheduling blocks in your calendar for deep, focused work. Treating it like an important meeting gives you permission to ignore distractions during that time.
Protect that focus time.
And setting daily priorities. Just writing down your main goals for the day, maybe the night before. Ideally, identify your single most important task.
The one big thing.
Yeah. It focuses your brain, helps you tackle the most impactful stuff first, and reduces that overwhelming feeling from a long to-do list. Plus, ticking things off gives you that little dopamine hit, which fuels motivation.
And what if you get stuck? Just powering through isn't always the answer, is it?
Definitely not. If you hit a wall on one task, sometimes the best thing is to switch, move to a completely different type of task, or something you actually enjoy for a bit. It can reset your brain, give you fresh eyes when you come back.
A strategic context switch.
Exactly. So when building your own routine with all these elements, what's the key mindset?
Start small. That seems crucial. Don't try to become a productivity guru overnight.
Please don't. Yeah, pick one or two tiny habits first.
Yeah.
A 5-minute walk. Journaling, one sentence. Make it easy to win.
And made it yours. It shouldn't be some ideal routine you copied from someone else, right? It needs to fit your life, your preferences.
Absolutely. Include those pillars: exercise, relaxation, sleep, good food, but adapt them. Maybe you hate mornings, so your routine looks different. That's fine.
And be flexible. Life throws curveballs.
Always. If you miss a day, don't chuck the whole routine out. Just adjust and pick it up again tomorrow. Rigidity is the enemy of long-term consistency. Flexibility is key.
How do you stay consistent, especially at the start?
Setting intentions helps. Consciously deciding, okay, today I intend to. It reinforces your purpose.
And using cues?
Yeah, little reminders. Put your running shoes by the door. Set an alarm on your phone. Leave your journal on your pillow. Tell a friend what you're doing for accountability. These become less necessary once the habit is automatic, but they're great scaffolding early on.
Good tips.
And finally, maybe most importantly, celebrate the wins.
Acknowledge your progress.
Even the tiny ones. Did you manage 5 minutes of focus? Awesome. Did you put your phone away for an hour? Great job. That positive reinforcement genuinely rewires your brain to want to do it again.
It makes the effort feel worthwhile.
Totally. So wrapping this all up, the big picture here is that concentration isn't this fixed thing you're born with or without.
It's a skill, a muscle.
Exactly. Something you can actively strengthen through building smart habits and, really importantly, by shaping your environment intentionally. We've seen how these small, consistent steps, clearing your desk, maybe trying a short digital detox, adding a mindful moment, they can genuinely lead to big breakthroughs.
Breakthroughs in focus, productivity, but also just feeling calmer and more in control.
Right. These aren't just hacks to get more done. They're investments in your mental health, your overall well-being. When you learn to manage your attention better, you gain more control over your focus.
Which means you gain more control over your life, really, your experience of it.
Beautifully put. It's about reclaiming your attention in a world designed to steal it.
So a final thought for everyone listening. What's one tiny guardrail, just one small thing you could put in place starting today to protect your focus just a little bit more?
And maybe you reflect on how that one small change might ripple outwards, improving not just your work, but maybe your sense of calm, your clarity in the days and weeks ahead.